Did you know that the most important aspect of a high performing team is the ability to ask, give, and receive feedback? Why is this so important? Why is feedback so important? Because with feedback, we can iterate, we can make changes, we can be nimble as a team, we can respond to opportunities, and we can identify obstacles in our way much more quickly. So I was working with a team yesterday and they said, Kendall, please help us figure out what is a great way to give feedback, especially to people who may not want feedback. So I created years ago a method, a 4-step process called SBIR, SBIR. And SBIR stands for the way, a quick method that you could use to guide your way to structure your presentation of giving feedback to this person. And so the first S stands for the situation. And so basically, let's say you have a leader who continues to disrupt meetings or interrupts people, talks over people, won't listen. Great. Okay. We know that that is happening, and we want to help support you to be able to give that person some feedback, whether it be a peer, whether it be a direct report, or even if it is your supervisor or your boss. And so what we want to do is we want to try to help people understand the impact of their behavior on others. So we absolutely know that when, for example, more voices are in the room in meetings, we know that the effectiveness of that meeting is going to improve. So if one person takes over the meeting and fills the space always with their own words, and they're loud and proud of their work to the point where they are running people over, that becomes a problem for moving things forward and becoming really known as a results oriented team, which I know you want. I know you want that. So the situation, you've got to be able to describe the situation, pull that person aside. And first step always is to ask, are you open to feedback? Can I give you some feedback? That is important because we want to get that person's consent in the conversation. And consent is the first step to making change in our behavior. So always asking for consent. Are you open, and is now a good time? The next step is then you want to describe the situation. Hey, we were in this meeting, and I just want you to know, first of all, I'm coming from a place of really wanting you and wanting us to all improve together. And so I'm hoping that if I give you feedback, that you'll give me feedback if you see me off track. Great. Now we have consent. All right. So we were in that meeting, and here's what I saw. I saw you interrupting. I saw you getting louder. I saw you taking over the conversation and interrupting people. And I get that you're really passionate about your work and the direction, but here's the behavior, right? So we want to get into that B, the interrupting, the people shifting in their chairs and uncomfortable, that there's constant interruptions, the blurting, the loudness. Put all of that in as if it were captured on a video camera. And then the next step is the I, the impact. What is the impact on the people? We're losing voices. We're losing motivation. People are not wanting to get their ideas out there because they're afraid they're going to just be run over again, and nobody will stick up for that. We are losing great ideas. People aren't bringing those ideas forward. So really describe in detail the impact, so the person can say, my goodness, that's not my intention, or thanks, I will work on that. The last step is the R, which is the request. What is the request you have of this person? So we know that the more that we can turn our complaints into requests as quickly as possible, gets movement going, right? We're accelerating the movement. We're sidestepping all the stuff that happens when we don't confront things and we don't give feedback. We're going right into the better way forward, which is through the request. So my request is of you is to be aware of how impulsive you are in meetings, that you are interrupting, you're not listening, you're not asking questions. Will you be willing to slow down, to check yourself, ask yourself, how much have I been talking in this meeting? I'm interrupting. I need to stop interrupting. Bringing that to awareness, and maybe even, get them to a commitment. Yes, I will commit to that. I will be open to this new behavior. So give it a try, the SBIR method of giving feedback. I know many of you wanted that after our week here together. So would love to have you give this a try, see how it goes, and report back.